What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video on this one right here. This one right here. Well, let me tell you about this one. We're in Master League Premier, and I know I haven't dropped the video in a good while, but that's because I fell a lot of elo. I once Open Great League came back, I fell down 500 elo, and then slowly came back up. I used a different team before I used this team. I'm only going to showcase this team. I might drop a video with the other team later on today, maybe. Um, but we'll see. But for right now, we're just gonna drop this video, and I do want to get this video out before the leaks switch over, just in case you do want to use it. I will be running this team on stream. Once again, these battles are done on my Twitch. Watch them. You can have watch them happen in real time as they do happen. Link in the description as always to my Twitch. But yeah, this team right here actually helped me climb back up. I'm gonna showcase 3 sets that I did. Well, I did 5 sets, but 3 of the sets were positive, so I'm gonna show the 3 positive sets. I went 2 5-0s and 1 3-2. These are in order, so I went from this is the second set. So I took the second set, the third set, and the fourth set. I didn't do the first or the last set. They were kind of bad. I think they were like two threes or something. Not too bad, but not a positive set. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We did hit 100 subscribers, which I do appreciate you guys for subscribing. Those of you that are not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe, just to help the channel grow a little bit more. As we do have a bad lead, I will get into the commentary now. As we do have a bad lead, I'm gonna switch out into my Glissapod. Glissapod is not level 50 yet. I am missing a couple XLs, but that is fine. It still worked out as I do end up shielding the Moonblast, but they do end up coming into a Gyarados, and I do get the debuff, the attack debuff, which is a 10%, and that is not very good for me. But I am going to try to make sure to throw on very good timing. They throw their move here. Most likely it's going to be the Crunch. But they do Aqua Tail bait me there, and that is fine with me. So I'm gonna be able to get to this aerial A's. Make sure I'm throwing on good timing. And that time I did not throw on good timing. I did one extra Shadow Claw, maybe thinking I was gonna CMP them, but either way, now at this point I am gonna have to let this go through. I cannot shield this because I do believe they're at another move. But at this point, yeah, they were one away and they were gonna be able to make it 2 moves. So I'm just gonna go ahead and farm down completely with my Annihilate. They're gonna come into their um, Florges is gonna get hit with a Shadow Ball if they do not shield this, and they do end up shielding. But the good thing for me is that their Florges is in Disarming Voice range, so I can just go double Disarming Voice here. I do make it to the Moonblast, and I do throw the Disarming Voice. Thought they caught for a second, but they do not end up catching. Moonblast would have KO'd, so maybe I should have just went for the Moonblast. And now I think they think that I'm gonna go ahead and bait. This time I am not gonna go for the bait. I'm just gonna go straight for the Moonblast. And now because they let the Moonblast go through, we are going to be able to farm down completely and end up winning this game by just farming down completely. There's gonna be some crazy games in here where Annihilate just goes crazy. You'll see them. I'm not sure what set it was, but you guys will see that. As we do see a Swampert into our Annihilate, and they do end up swapping into a Gyarados, Dragon Breath Gyarados. I do swap out a little bit late, but knowing that I can swap out a little bit late, knowing that Floor just can is gonna be able to resist these Dragon Breaths, they are gonna be making it to another move. At this point, I am gonna be able to farm up. I throw right away just because I think that they could have got to another move, but I didn't want them to get to another move, so I just go ahead and throw. Usually, I end up trying to farm up. Maybe because I think another Aquatel would have KO'd, and that's why I went for the move. Otherwise, I would have went for. I would have gone up to 2 disarming voices and then through the move. But they do sludge wave me here, and that is kind of crazy that they are running sludge wave. So I am gonna go ahead and shield this one, this potential sludge wave. This time they are gonna bait me with the hydro cannon. I am gonna be able to make it to this aerial ace to see what they want to do. They let it go through, just fine with me. And now in the back there is a Togekiss, and this is not looking good for me. I am gonna go for the liquidation here on good timing, hoping I can get the debuff, but we don't get the defense drop. Now I am going to be able to make it to a nice punch. They let it go through, and I'm like, oh man, this is really bad. I was hoping they would shield it, but they didn't shield it. Now I have to go straight for the farm down. We do get the farm down, and Annihilate is going to be able to farm down completely. This might be the set that I was talking about. Maybe I should save this one for last. But we are going to see a Gyarados in the lead. I am going to switch out into my Gliscopod. They are going to switch out into their Dragonite. Dragonite is going to be getting hit with these aerial aces. I am going to go ahead and let this go through. I do believe I do let it go through. I am going to try to make it to another aerial ace. I do make it. You charge it up to an excellent. See what they want to do here. They are going to be able to live it. I'm going to try to make it to another one. They let me make it to another one because they are trying to go for the farm down. And that is going to let me get the shield, which is really good for me because now I can come into Florges. And since Dragonite is super low already, they thought I was going to go ahead and throw there. But unfortunate for them, I did not throw. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this go through again. And another superpower, that's fine with me. Make it easier for me to farm down. We're at 100 energy. And just gonna go ahead and throw the Moonblast here. Make it easier for me to farm down this Mammal Swine. They are gonna throw a move. I'm surprised they didn't swap out, but that is fine with me. And I throw on bad timing here, but they it doesn't look like they got a move in, so it worked out. I am gonna go ahead and let this go through. Probably the crunch. It is the crunch. Now we do get the debuff, and this is not looking good for us. But I'm gonna hope and pray that I can make it to another move here, and I don't make it to another move. But luckily for us, Floor just has one away, and we are going to make it to the disarming voice as they do force quit the app, and we are going to be able to take this game. Oh man, why can't I talk? Why can't I English? We are gonna see a good lead. Empoleon into uh are Annihilate, and they are gonna switch out into Feraligatr. Shadow Claws are chunking on the Annihilate, but I'm gonna switch out into my Gliscopod. Gliscopod should be able to hard wall this Feraligatr, but Feraligatr is super spammy, and I did give it a little bit of an energy lead advantage, so I know this is not going to be enough to KO. They probably don't shield this. They don't shield. They only that they can make it to another move, and at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and shield because they do have a little bit of health. I don't want those Shadow Claws to start chunking away as they do swap out into their Empoleon, and I should have known that they were baiting out my Annihilate. And I am going to go for the bait here, thinking that they are going to shield because they have two shields, but they don't shield. And I'm going to make it to another Ice Punch here, hoping they did shield, but they don't shield, which is fine with me. So now at this point, they are going to come into an Excadrill, and I go for the CMP time, which I should have not done. And there you go. We're going to unfortunately end up losing or getting taken out there. I go for the extra move here, knowing that they're probably going to try to CMP me, and I go for the disarming voice here, expecting them to shield at this point because they are in like moon blast range. I do go for another cheeky bait here. Probably shouldn't have did that, but they do end up shielding, and now this is going to be enough to KO my Gliscopod. I need to make it to the Moonblast here. I pause just in case they do end up trying to catch, and lucky for me, they don't catch. Moonblast is going to be enough to KO. A couple more fairy winds to knock out the Feraligatr, and we are going to be able to take that game as we do go 5-0 in this first set that I'm showcasing to you guys. The team is super strong. Core breakers, I would say Skeledirge is definitely a core breaker, but if you can get the Skeledirge lined up against the Gliscopod, then you should be fine. But other than that, it might take some teamwork. But as we do hop into the next battle here, we're gonna see Gyarados into our Annihilate, and they are gonna switch out. I'm gonna switch out as well. Probably should have went to Florges here, and I throw in bad timing, letting them get a free move for free, and I don't like that. You guys know that. Now this time I am gonna try to time my moves correctly. I do time my moves correctly this time, and I am gonna be able to make it to another move, but I just choose to go for the farm down since they let it go through. Gyarados is gonna come back in. I'm gonna hit it with a liquidation, hoping I could get the defense drop, but no defense drop. They are gonna throw the Aqua Tail here, and Aqua Tail is going to do some good damage here as I do make it to the Moonblast. We're gonna see what they want to do here. They go ahead and let it go through. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. At this point, I need to shield. And then in the back is a Togekiss, and at this point, this is looking really bad for me. I am gonna go for the Moonblast, but no, I don't think I can do anything here. I do make it to the Ice Punch. They're probably most likely not gonna shield, but they do end up shielding. Don't make it to another move. They are gonna throw their move here, and I should have threw my move here. I should have threw my move. If I throw a move, we take them out. No, they catch, right? They caught here. Oh, they didn't catch. No, it would have been tough. It would have been tough. I don't think I win that regardless. But this time we are going to see Annihilate into Magnezone, Shadow Magnezone, and we are going to be able to switch out as they do switch out into their Garchomp. Go to Florges. I'm just going to go straight for the nuke here, not expecting the shield. Reason being is because they have the Shadow Magnezone and they probably just want to farm me down completely. But the good thing about Florges here is that you will see the power of Florges. It does not care if you are a steel type. Make sure that I'm throwing on good timing as well. Charge up the Moonblast to an excellent. And as you can see, with the Shadow Magnezone, you can two-shot it with two Moonblasts, which is really cool. They swap out into a Gyarados. I swap out into my Gliscopod. Once again, giving them a free move. And you guys know how I feel about timing moves. But unfortunately for me, I had something was going on that I could not time my moves correctly. And this time we are going to try to time our moves correctly. We do time our moves correctly this time. And now we are going to get the shield. I am going to go ahead and throw the shield as well. Do one and throw. And then charge it up to an excellent. See what they want to do here. They let it go through. I'm going to switch out into my Annihilate. I am going to go ahead and shield. Oh, oh, because they came into the Shadow Zone. So now Shadow Magnezone Wild Charge does not KO. This is the big boy leagues. So unfortunately for that, Shadow Magnezone Wild Charge is not enough. They are going to switch out as we do see a Metagross in the lead up against our Annihilate. They switch out into Dragon Breath Gyarados. We are going to switch out into our Florges as we do resist the Dragon Breath. And this is kind of bad because they are going to be able to get farm off of this Florges. But once again, Florges can do some good damage as you guys will be able to see here. And I'm going to farm up a little bit extra energy. And this time I'm going to let them go ahead and throw because knowing I can live this and I can make it to two disarming voices here. So I can throw this disarming voice. They no shield. I get to another one, throw it. But unfortunately for me, I do end up banking it, switch out into my Pod, expecting them to be weak to charm or fairy in the back end. Surprisingly, look at this. As a Dragonite, they are weak to fairy in the back. I am going to be able to make it to another aerial ace here at this point. They're probably going to go ahead and let it go through. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through as well. Then I'm going to come into my floor, just throw the move as I wait out the clock, just so I can get my switch clock and then swap out. They do save the Dragonite, which is a little bit weird for me. I'm just gonna go straight for the Shadow Ball. They don't know I have Ice Punch. Um, so they probably thought I was just gonna bait. And no, sir, we are not gonna bait, and we are gonna be able to take that game. As we do hop into the next battle, we're gonna see a tackle Ursaluna up against our Annihilate. They switch out into Gliscopod, and I'm like, what do I do here? I swap out into my own Gliscopod, and I know at this point here I'm going to end up losing this matchup. So probably should have went Florges here, to be honest. I am gonna throw the shield up just because I know that if I go for the double shield, if I double shield, I'm gonna end up losing this matchup. But if I go for the double shield, they are forced to double shield to win this matchup, and that is what they're gonna do, which is really good for me. Now that the shields are down, Boom Blast, Shadow Ball are going to be hurting as I do end up coming into my floor just to get this farm. They are gonna throw their move. I am gonna get the farm fully farm down. They're gonna come into. I don't know what they came into. Ursaluna swap out. They come into a Gyarados and make it to the Shadow Ball. And at this point, I'm hoping I can do something here and win. They do crunch me. Crunch does a lot. At this point, I have to throw the move. Ursaluna is gonna be able to farm me down, but a few counters are able to come in, and we are going to be able to make it to the disarming voice. Hoping this is enough to KO from this range. It's not enough, but they do make it to a move. Hoping this is not the high horsepower. If it's the high horsepower, bye bye for this that game. Oh man, heartbreaker. As we do see a Hisuian Avalugg into our Annihilate, and they are going to swap out. Since this time they are going to swap out into Gliscopod, I am going to throw the Shadow Ball, making it easier for my Gliscopod to win this matchup. I am going to go ahead and let this go through. I am at the move, just going to under tap it, hoping that they would shield this, but most likely they are not because they know I didn't overfarm. Now I'm going to go ahead and let this go through, and it's going to be a rock slide. They are going to be able to farm me down completely, and which is okay with me. Since they have rock slide, they have icy wind. They're just gonna debuff me, probably make it to another move. They don't make it to another move, and this time I am debuff. No reason for me not to bait here. They do let it go through, and at this point, they realize that Flores in the back is going to wreck them with two shields up, as they do have two shields as well. So a four shield flex there in that one game. As we do hop into the last set here, we're gonna see Magnezone into Annihilate, and this is really good for me. They swap out into a Dragon Breath Gyarados. I'm gonna switch out into my Florges. Florges is going to be able to take a lot of these moves, and I know it's the same matchups over and over and over. Seems kind of really redundant, doesn't it? But yeah, we who doesn't love consistency? This time, as you guys will see, I do not farm up to two for some reason. I should have farmed up to two. Go ahead and let this go through. Oh, maybe because of the health. I wanted to be healthy, force them to throw, and I think I got the attack fall there. And I do throw on bad timing there this time. I do make it to another Moonblast. They do shield, which is really good for me. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this, knowing that the wild charges are not gonna do anything. But I'm gonna shield again, and they're gonna swap out into Avalugg. I'm just gonna go straight for the big move here, see what they want to do. They do end up shielding. Just gonna go ahead and stay in for a little bit, and then try to catch the next icy wind here. And we do end up catching the icy wind, which is really good for me. Now at this point, I think I could just farm down completely. They might make it to another move. They do make it to another move. Um, and it's gonna be the rock slide, just fine with me. And I make it to the liquidation, and this is going to be enough to KO. Even being debuffed, it's going to be enough to KO. We're gonna be able to take that game as we do hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Metagross into our Annihilate, and this is really good for the Annihilate, but they don't know we have Night Slash, so I'm just gonna farm up a little bit extra energy. They swap out into a Dragon Back Gyarados, and now I have energy on my Annihilate, and we're gonna farm up extra energy here. We're gonna go straight for the Moonblast, hoping we can get the debuff here, but it doesn't really matter if we get it or not. Now at this point, they are going to go ahead and throw their move here. I don't really care. I am going to farm up a little bit extra energy here. I knew that I realized that they would make it to another move, so I just went ahead and threw. I'm trying to make it to the Moonblast. This is really good damage for me. We do make it to the Moonblast here, and now at this point, I'm just gonna come in Galissapod because Galissapod just hard walls the Meteor Mashes here, and we're gonna be able to take a few, as you guys can see. Now at this point, I am gonna go ahead and try to farm down completely, as they do end up swapping out into their own ape. Annihilate. I am gonna throw the liquidation, trying to make it to the aerial ace here. We make it to the aerial ace. This time they are going to have to shield that, make it to the ice punch here, hoping that they would shield this, but I make a mistake and they do not shield that. Now I am gonna go ahead and shield, which is a potential nice slash, and it is the nice slash. They did end up baiting me. Now I am gonna go ahead and shield this one as well, knowing most likely that is going to be the shadow ball. And I do make it to And I believe this is double ice punch, so I am going to be able to not double ice punch yet, but now we are at the second one. This is going to be enough to KO. They're going to come into their Metagross. They top left, knowing that this game is over for them, and we are going to be able to take that game. As we do see a floor just lead into our Annihilate, and this is really bad. So I am going to switch out into my Galissapod. I am gonna make it to the liquidation. They let me throw it. They swap out, and this is not looking good for me. They wanted me to throw energy, but good for me is that the good thing for me is that we did get some chip on that Florges, but it does have a lot of energy. We are going to be able to make it to another liquidation here on this Shadow Snorlax. Shadow Snorlax is going to be able to take it. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and let this go through, knowing that I can farm down completely with my Annihilate. Take a move here if I have to. They probably did not have a move. I swap out immediately, recognizing that they had a lot of energy and that they probably most likely are going to throw. And I'm trying to time my moves here correctly on this Primarina because I don't want them to make it to a move or farm me down before I can make it to a disarming voice. As I make it to a disarming voice, at this point, they have a lot of energy. I am gonna shield the shield again. I'm gonna hope that I can farm down completely before they make it to another move. They come into their Florges, and Florges is gonna get hit with a Moonblast or with a Shadow Ball. They are going to be able to make it to a move here. Disarming Voice does not KO, and since they're running waterfalls, our punches are going to be able to punch them down before they are going to be able to waterfall us down. And we do see another good lead here, and they're going to swap into Annihilate. We swap out into Florges. Florges, I'm just going straight for the Moonblast. They can Shadow Ball me here. This is fine. We're going to one shot them here, and we're going to see what they want to do. Okay, maybe not one shot them. We get a little bit of more energy, which is pretty good for me. We do want to have some energy for this Shadow Magnezone. Like I said, 2 Moonblasts are enough to KO with Shadow Magnezone. I was stuck for a second. I don't know why. But they are gonna throw the move. I'm gonna go ahead and let it go through. They swap out into a Dragonite, and this is looking really tricky for me. They CMP time me, or they bat time me, the cap tie. Um, and we are going to be able to throw the aerial ace here to see what they want to do. They go ahead and let it go through. I'm trying to make it to another aerial ace. I make it to the aerial ace to see what they want to do. They let it go through. Oh man, I'm getting farmed down. I get farmed down completely at this point. I have to let this go through. Can't really shield yet. And they are probably going to make it to another one. Oh man, I have to shield this one. Nope, I let it go through. Okay. And because I let that go through, go ahead and shield this. It's a mirror shot. And now I shield this next move. And I believe that we are at back to back ice punches. But I needed to go straight for the farm down and clutching out a win with the Annihilate farming down. And now we are going to see Magnezone once again. They swap out into Dragon Breath Gyarados. Gyarados is going to be met with my Florges. Florges is going to be able. This is the same matchup, so it's the same thing. We're just going to go Moonblast here. And if we can overfarm, we're going to overfarm. If we can't, then we can't. And we're just going to see what we can do here. We're going to go ahead and let this go through once again. Always let it go through. And we're going to farm up. Hopefully try to get the 2 moves here. I think I might have been 1 away from 2 moves. Maybe. I think. Yep, I was 1 away. But we're going to go ahead and throw on good timing here. And since this is the normal one, it's going to take a disarming voice and 2 moonblast. They throw. We're going to go ahead and let this go through. I'm going to come into my Annihilate. I am going to shield this, expecting this to be the wild charge. They do go for the wild charge. They come into Dragonite. And this time I go for the Ice Punch, trying to get a shield. They do end up shielding. And now I'm going to try to make it to an aerial ace. They let me get to the aerial ace first, which is kind of weird. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through, hoping I can make it to another move here. And let's see, can we make it to a move? They throw right before I get to the move. Probably should shield this. No, we don't shield. And now they are going to unfortunately end up winning this game here. And uh We do shield the shadow of the Dragon Claw. But we get the farm down. We make it to back-to-back ice punches, and because we're at back-to-back ice punches, we're gonna get the shield on 1, and 2 is going to be enough to KO, and we are going to be able to take this game to go 5-0. A misplay by my opponent. If they don't come into their Shadow Magnet into their Magnezone, they probably win. They probably win. But yeah, if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, and I will see you guys on the next video as we do claim our Wallaby here, bad IVs, and we make it up to 2574. I will see you guys on the next video.